Guys, I made a sign. I don't know why I made a sign, but I did. So as you can tell from the sign, this is going to be a book debate video. When I first started my channel, I did a newbie book tag 2.0. I'll have it linked down below in the description. But I had mentioned that I wanted to do kind of book debating tags videos, so that's what this is going to be. So the books that we're going to be debating about, which is really just going to be me ranting about more of. You definitely should not watch this video if you have not read both of these books, because it's going to be covering the endings of the books, which will be the last books in their trilogies that they were from, and spoilers for pretty much everything. So if you haven't read them or have not read the series, or haven't finished the series, don't watch this video. The books are Allegiant by Veronica Roth. This is the third and final book in the Divergent trilogy. And then Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, the third and final book in the Hunger Games trilogy. Both of these book series were turned into movies. However, we're not going to be discussing that at all in this video. So with any final book, a lot of stuff happens in it. A lot of stuff progresses, especially for characters. In Mockingjay, Katniss did a lot of growth in each book individually, and then also overall throughout the series. Such as in book 1, when you first meet her, she's very different by the end of the book. Even halfway through. Like, you can see how it changes and stuff, and you experience it with her, which is why it's a very good series, and really hits the feels. But in Catching Fire, it was kind of the same. We did get a little miffed with Katniss a couple times. Yeah, a lot of times. Not that bad, though. Honestly, she was a very good protagonist. There's also character growth for the side characters, such as Haymitch, for Effie, for Peeta, for Gale. Yeah. So Mockingjay had a lot to live up to and to wrap up together by the end of the last page. It had to do all of that in a shorter book. I mean, book 1 was thinner, but still, I think we all know that feeling when we need more and we want the last book to be like 800 pages, such as Winter. But we know how that went. A lot of things happened in this book specifically with the side characters. So the side characters had a lot of growth throughout this series as well as the main character. Though since we were reading for the main character, we experienced a bit more with her, but you could still see from her point of view what was going on with the other side characters. So, Peeta and Gale, the love interests in this book. This series was the first YA series I read that had love triangles, okay? This book series, the Hunger Games trilogy, actually is what made me really love reading. Before, I had read books and liked them, but I didn't actually love them. You know that feeling where you just want to reread the series over and over and over again and nothing else? That was the first one for me, was this series. So this really had a lot to live up to. So in Mockingjay, everything fell to crap. I don't know about you guys, but I shipped Peeta with Katniss from the beginning, so when things were really messed up, I was not happy about that. At all. I liked Gale, don't get me wrong, I did like him. I just didn't like him with Katniss. I mean, from the beginning, in the first book, like, she explains that she loved him like a brother. Not like that. And Prim was her main focus. And then some stuff happened with Peeta, and then she was in denial. Let's call it denial. So in the final book, in Mockingjay, everything escalates. Everything is torn to pieces. You're freaking out the whole book. You're like, this is not going to end okay. And yeah. So it falls to crap. And of course, what's a final book without death? Now, Allegiant, this series I was in from the very beginning. So I found the first book as soon as it actually hit the shelves. I'd never heard of it before, but it looked interesting. So I got it, I read it, was hooked. There was no book 2 because it had just come out. as soon as book 2 was out, which I actually put on my calendar when it was coming out, and I went and bought it, and I ended up getting the special edition, which I was super happy about, because it came with an additional chapter at the end from Tobias's point of view. And that just kills you after the ending of book 2. It kills you. But not as much as book 3. So this book also had a lot to offer, to live up to, like, a lot. And it actually is pretty sick. So, I was very hopeful when I read this book. I had never heard of a main character dying in a book series, especially when it's from first-person point of view. Now, there were hints throughout this book, because it switched from point of view from Triss's to Tobias's. So I should have seen the hints, but I didn't. I really did not. For one, I really liked Triss. Like, her character growth, everything. She was amazing. Like, a bit better than Katniss, honestly. So, that just... Now, the love interest topic, in this series, there was just the main couple, Triss and Tobias. And they just were idiots at times, and they got back together. And then we're idiots. And you get the idea. They were just like the couple you rooted for. There was no doubt. There was no one else at all. And if anyone posed a threat, you wanted them dead. Because, like, it was the ship. There's no side characters, really, that tried to take someone away from the ship, which really was nice in a YA book series, that there was no conflict of, I'm dating you and I do love you, but I also like this new chick who just showed up, kind of thing. So that was really nice at the time when the series came out. And there's not a lot of series that are like that I find. Now, this entire series, it's kind of like Grey's Anatomy, okay? Have you seen that? Don't watch it. Don't watch it. But everybody just, something happens. Something happens. So, over which book of these two is better and which book is worse, for the final book in the series, and just in general as the ending to a trilogy, honestly, I think Allegiant is worse. Because, I mean, one ends with all the characters emotionally damaged and traumatized and should be committed to a hospital, and the other one ends with practically everyone is dead and really in need of help. So, I mean, the main character in this one, her little sister died, who was her reason to get out of bed in the morning from page 1 of the first book. And this one, the main character dies. And then we get an epilogue at the end from Tobias's point of view. And that was just rubbing salt in the wound, because you realize later, I didn't realize at the time what the author meant in that epilogue, but I do now, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Now hear me out. In Allegiant, a lot of things did happen, yes, because a lot of things had to be tied up and everything, but a main character from this series was killed off. Her character growth was amazing. I can see that maybe the author didn't know where else to take that character, but just killing them off after what just happened. For one, there were so many different things wrong with that scenario of how Triss died. And then afterwards I don't know, did the author just want to get rid of everybody? Because a lot of other characters died as well. And in the epilogue, you see the survivors, and Tobias gets with, it's implied that Tobias falls in love with Christina, Triss's best friend who had been in love with someone else. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to read that at all. I think Mockingjay wins for the best. For me, remember this is based on my opinion, Mockingjay just, Katniss survived, and it showed how she survived after everything was gone. Like, Peeta had tried to kill her before. I mean, he was never going back to normal. Gale had a part, unintentionally, in her little sister's death. A lot of things went very wrong, but she still had to get over it. kind of thing. And it just tied up so much better, even with the epilogue. Like, you can still see it. Whereas in the epilogue in this one, that was uncalled for. That was not really needed. On a side note, do you realize what this cover means? Okay, for those of you who don't know, because I wish I didn't know, but I do now. Divergent. In the cover, it was fire, right? In a circle. It's water here, because it's a foreshadowing that Tris dies. So that was the book debate of which book was better between these two as a last book in a series or trilogy. What do you guys think? Which one do you like better? Which one do you dislike the most? Personally, for me, I was more focused towards the ending of these books, not all throughout, because in any final book, all throughout, a lot of stuff is going to happen. A lot of things. So it's just how it ties up at the end, in the last couple chapters, that really seals the deal for me in a book. So yeah. Again, this was my opinion on the books of which one I thought sealed the deal better and which one did not. Thank you guys for watching though. Would you like to see more book debates? These were the kind of videos where I talked about, where I took 2 books, maybe a few more, like 3 or 4 at the most, and just took a question and debated about it. Debated about each book individually, and then overall which one I thought was better, kind of thing. If you have any ideas, let me know. Thank you for watching. Bye.